The President of Ukraine is the Ukrainian head of state. The President represents the nation in international relations, administers the foreign political activity of the state, conducts negotiations and concludes international treaties. The President is directly elected by the citizens of Ukraine for a 5-year term of office, limited to 2 terms consecutively. The President's official residence is the Mariinsky Palace, located in the Peshchersk district of the capital Kyiv. Other official residences include the House with Chimeras and the House of the Weeping Widow, which are used for official visits by foreign representatives. The office of the President of Ukraine, unofficially known as Bunkova, in reference to the street it is located on, serves as the presidential office, advising the President in the domestic, foreign and legal matters. Since the office's establishment on 5 December 1991, there have been 6 presidents of Ukraine. Leonid Kravchuk was the inaugural president, serving 3 years from 1991 until his resignation in 1994. Leonid Kuchma was the only president to have served 2 consecutive terms in office. Viktor Yushchenko, Petro Poroshenko and Viktor Yanukovych served 1 term, with the latter being replaced by acting President Alexander Turchynov, who then also served as chairman of the Ukrainian parliament. On 21 February 2014, Alexander Turchynov was the only acting president in Ukraine's modern history, unlike in the US, where becoming acting president means immediately receiving all powers and duties of the presidency. In Ukraine, the powers of an acting president are severely limited. On 18 June 2015, Yanukovych was officially deprived of the title of President of Ukraine. The government of Ukraine utilizes a semi-presidential system in which the roles of the head of state and head of government are separate. Thus, the President of Ukraine is not the nation's head of government. The Prime Minister serves as the head of government, a role currently filled by Denis Shmyhal, who took office in March 2020. The current president is Volodymyr Zelensky, who took the oath of office on 20 May 2019. The president is also the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and heads the National Security and Defense Council, which advises the president, coordinates and controls executive power in the sphere of national security and defense. According to the Constitution of Ukraine, the president is the guarantor of the state's sovereignty, territorial indivisibility, the observance of the Constitution of Ukraine and human and citizens' rights and freedoms. As with the separation of powers, the president has checks on the authority of parliament and the judicial system. For instance, any law passed by the parliament can be vetoed by the president. However, parliament can override his veto with a 2/3 constitutional majority vote. The president has limited authority to disband the Verkhovna Rada, and nominates candidates for the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Minister of Defense in the Ukrainian Cabinet of Ministers. 6 out of 18 of the Constitutional Court judges are appointed by the President. Decisions of the President are subject to review by Ukraine's courts, with the Constitutional Court having the sole authority and power to declare decrees of the President unconstitutional. While in office, the President enjoys the right of immunity. Ukrainian presidents are frequently asked by individual citizens for help in solving their personal problems. In 2012, President Yanukovych received about 10,000 to 12,000 letters from people every month. Bypassing local governments is an ages-old practice in Ukraine. Prior to the formation of the modern Ukrainian presidency, the previous Ukrainian head of state office was officially established in exile by Andriy Levitsky. At first, the de facto leader of nation was the president of the Central Rada at early years of the Ukrainian People's Republic, while the highest governing body was the General Secretariat headed by its chairman. With the proclamation of the last Universal of the UPR dated 25 January 1918 due to a military aggression, the Central Rada of the UPR proclaimed its independence from the Russia. On 29 April 1918, the Rada elected Mikhailo Hrushchevsky as the first president of the Central Rada of the Ukrainian People's Republic, in effect making him the de facto leader of the republic, although a rather widespread misconception. The state leadership position title varied and none of them had an official, presidential, title. On 29 April 1918 the Central Rada was arrested and liquidated during a coup d'état initiated by the local German administration to install Hetman Pavlo Skoropadsky, who barely spoke a word of the Ukrainian language. In November of the same year the Directorate Government of the UPR was established as the opposition movement to the Skoropadsky's regime. The Ukrainian People's Republic was soon re-established.